my channel. So let's talk about Amber and Puppy. I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard that Amber and Puppy were gonna be back on this season, I was slightly annoyed, but I gotta admit they have been an interesting part of this season. I like their storyline because a lot of the stuff is unpredictable, and I don't think there's been one part of their storyline this season that I've side-eyed and felt like it wasn't authentic. So bravo to WeTV for that. So in this last episode, we still have Puppy staying with Queen, and Queen walks into Puppy's room to find Mount Everest full of designer clothes piled up in Puppy's room. And I'm starting to think that Puppy has a shopping problem because she admitted that she has probably over $250,000 just in shoes alone. $250,000 in shoes, but she said she has so much clothes and shoes that it pretty much ruins her getting to enjoy all this stuff because half the time she can't even find what she needs. So Queen was like, okay, you got two options. Either you got to sell this stuff or you got to donate it because you're not about to have it all piled up in my house like. And I just got to point out, I think Queen looks fabulous this season. I don't know what she's doing, but she's lost a lot of weight since last season, and she looks great in my opinion. So Puppy is all concerned because Queen has yet to hear from Amber, and neither has she. And the last time Puppy saw Amber, things didn't go so well because Amber and TC tried calling her out on her drinking, and Amber said she isn't getting what she needs emotionally from TC. Meanwhile, Amber is over at her house. She shares with TC. She's sitting down with TC, and he's apologizing for being emotionally unavailable. And then Amber tells TC that she feels like he isn't here for her because he blames her for the abortion. And she feels like that he thinks that she did it intentionally because she couldn't stop drinking. So Amber became super frustrated, and she said that TC could have easily went to one of her 10 doctor's appointments and found out for himself that what Amber was saying was actually the truth. And even then, even before Amber found out that it was either going to be her or the baby, there's plenty of doctor's appointments that she went to before she found that out that he could have easily just popped in real quick and checked out and seen what was going on. So TC holds a lot of resentment towards Amber because of that. And you can tell that Amber has been out of control with her drinking because it seems like she's drunk in every single confessional. Shoot, she started off the season showing off the alcohol she was drinking in her confessional. And when they asked her what she's been up to, she said drinking. And every time we see her, she's always having a drink in her hand. And I think it's time that someone sits Amber down and has an intervention with her. So TC said, look, I love you, babe. I really care about you, but this drinking irritates the living F out of me. And you can tell that he's pretty much giving Amber an ultimatum where she needs to either choose drinking or him, or he's going to be done with the whole situation. So you can tell, even though TC is still telling Amber he loves her, that he isn't as in love with her as he was at the beginning. You can definitely tell that his feelings are starting to fade towards her. And then TC explains that he doesn't know how to address his own feelings, so he doesn't know how to address and handle anyone else's. And Amber says, like, okay, that's fine, but I just wish you would just, like, tell me everything's going to be okay, put your arm around me. And then, right then, TC did exactly what she was asking for. Which is nice to see him do something besides just stare at her when she's going through it. But at the same time, she shouldn't have to ask him to comfort her when she's going through it. So then Amber steps outside and she decides she wants to call her mom and vent to her mom about the argument she had with TC. And I like her mom. Her mom tells her like it is. She doesn't sugarcoat anything. And when Amber was complaining to her mom about TC, her mom was like, look, you can't fix anyone else unless you fix yourself first. So you need to focus on yourself first and getting better. And Amber was like, I know. And you can tell the mom and everyone else is extremely concerned about Amber's drinking. Puppy's concerned, Queen's concerned, her own mom's concerned, TC's concerned, which is great. I'm glad nobody's enabling her and letting her know how serious of a problem this really is. So later on, Amber comes back home to the house that she shares with TC, and it is in total shambles. There's trash everywhere. There's 2 grilled cheese right there. It was a total disaster, and Amber said the house should not be looking nothing like that because she cleaned the whole house before she left, and now she comes home and it's a hot mess express. TC definitely gives me the vibe that he's one of those type of dudes who think cleaning up and picking up after himself is just the woman's job. And I could see if like they had kids, because kids can mess stuff up real quick. But this is one grown man making all this mess in less than a day. And Amber, instead of deciding to pick it up and give in once again. She threw her hands up. She's like, you know what? I'm done. And I think Amber was just looking for a reason to leave at this point, and this was the final straw that broke the camel's back, and Amber had finally had enough. So Amber called her girl Puppy up, and Puppy rushed over there, and then Amber called Queen to find some extra muscle to help her move her stuff. So Amber started walking around the house she shares with TC with sticky notes. She starts putting sticky notes on everything that was her stuff, so whenever everyone shows up, it's easy to move. And Amber was also doing this so she could hurry up and get out of there, hopefully before TC comes home. And almost everything was Amber's, it seemed like. A lot of the furniture, a lot of the big stuff, like the washer, dryer, the fridge, and even the truck that TC has, Amber put $5,000 on. And I think Amber has been somewhat preparing for this move because she had a lot of her stuff already in big bins all together. And Amber says it's been a few weeks since their big fight and nothing has changed with TC, but I don't believe TC is into Amber, and they even showed a few clips that confirm that, where she said she was going to the gym and he said it was about time, and when he leaves, he never kisses her or tells her he loves her. Like, he tries to avoid any physical contact with Amber at all costs. And TC just seems disgusted by her. So Amber told Puppy that she's done with TC because she's the one paying all the bills and taking care of everything. And on top of that, she has to do all the cooking and cleaning. So she's paying for everything and having to do everything. And anytime Amber tries to bring it up to TC, he deflects and he tries to blame Amber for her drinking, which is definitely something Amber needs to address and get figured out. But he can't use the "you're still drinking" pass for every single argument. But at the end of the day, I feel like TC isn't listening to Amber because he doesn't respect her at this point. And like her mom said, TC isn't taking Amber serious because he feels like she has no place to talk when she can't even fix herself. And I think TC would take her a lot more serious if that was the case, but regardless of that, I don't think she's going to be able to convince him to suddenly be emotionally available like she desires him to be, because that's just not who he is. He's in his 40s and this is how he's been all his life, and I don't see him suddenly changing now and be super affectionate. So Amber calls up Queen and tells her to bring some muscles because she needs help. And I hope Amber realizes, regardless of how chaotic her life can be at times, that she's super blessed to have some friends like that. She has some rock solid loyal friends, because she just made a couple phone calls and minutes later she had Queen and all this muscle show up with a truck and boxes ready to go. So Amber walked around, she starts pointing out where all her sticky notes that say "this is mine," and she told them to pretty much just grab everything with a me sticker and start packing. But Amber's low-key freaking out because TC is due to be coming home from work any minute. So I've been wondering, why is TC still with Amber if he obviously is not attracted to her or into her anymore? And then I think I finally got my answer this episode. So Amber says that TC couldn't get the truck in his name, so she had to put it in her name, and she put $5,000 on the truck, and he did as well. She's been the one having to pay all the bills and picking up after him, so pretty much playing like a mom role. And now it makes sense why TC has been hanging on to Amber, because it's financially beneficial to him to do so, and it makes his life easier. And guys, don't take this the wrong way, but I think Amber should be grateful that the universe worked out the way it did, where she didn't have the baby with TC. And yes, my heart goes out to her in that super sad situation, but I think she should be glad she didn't have a child with him, because that would have just been another child she'd have to take care of on top of the man-child TC she's already taken care of. And if he isn't emotionally available for her, I don't think he would have been towards the children. And if he can't pick up after himself, I don't see him picking up after a kid either. So Queen said she finally showed up, and she told the producers that she doesn't care for TC anymore. She said she thought he was alright at first, but after Amber went through what she went through, Queen saw that TC wasn't there for Amber like he should have been, and now everyone is finally seeing TC's true colors. See, that's when you really learn who's really riding for you, is when you go through hell and back and someone is still there for you through it all. But instead of running to Amber when things get challenging, TC runs away from the situation and just emotionally checks out. And it's easy to stick by someone when things are easy, but the real test is when things get hard and who's still there at the end. And TC doesn't want to do what he has to do during the hard times of the relationship, it seems like, and be there for Amber, but he wants to reap all the benefits of being with Amber. And I'm sure being on a show has been super difficult for TC, because I'm sure half these hard conversations they're having on this show probably wouldn't even happen if it wasn't for the show, because you know the producers are pushing them to have these type of conversations. And I'm sure if it wasn't for the show, he'd be avoiding these combos at all costs. So Queen shows up with all her muscles, all her boxes, and she's like, come on, Amber, let's go. You can move in with me and Puppy for a while. And Amber was stressing out the whole time because she knew that TC was going to be home any minute and she was going to have to face TC. And then, speak of the devil, while Amber is sitting there freaking out over this, TC pulls in the driveway and he walks inside and he sees all these people packing up Amber's stuff, and he's like, and then Amber, she's just like looking down, trying to avoid eye contact with TC by any means and avoid the conversation. I think she's hoping someone else would tell TC the hard news so she wouldn't have to. But I am very interested to see how this all goes in the season finale, which I cannot wait. And the thing is, I think after this season finale, however this goes with TC and Amber, somebody needs to stage an intervention for Amber, because she has came so far to go backwards now. Yes, she wants to keep saying, oh, alcohol is better than meth, but it's just as bad, and you can die from alcohol withdrawals, and it's just not good for her body whatsoever. So I really hope, I think her moving in with Queen is going to be a good thing, because I don't see Queen putting up with that. So I hope that she moves out and moves in with Queen and Puppy, and they all sit her down, have an intervention, and Amber gets the help that she needs. I don't see her getting better living with TC, because it seems like every time TC's not at work, he always has a drink in his hand as well. And if Amber has the problem with alcohol, it's going to be hard for her to stop drinking if there's constantly alcohol right in front of her face. So I think her going to Queen will be a good idea. And also, she won't have to go on the emotional roller coaster every single day that she's going through with TC. And she can get the support that she needs. But Amber should be very grateful that she has some really good friends that are in her corner. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts about everything in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.